Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Michael Lab Show. Episode 92. We're rocking and rolling. 91, actually, because I can't count. Much love again to everybody out there. The podcast is growing at a rate right now, which is extremely satisfying. It's making me happy. It's making me happy that it is growing. It's making me happy that people are out there watching it in the universe again, and not again, but watching it. I gave a big shout out to New York last time, and I mean it. Seriously, New York they show mad love to me. Always checking out my podcast. Everyone's checking out the podcast. The ratings are almost like at 120 ratings on Apple. Make sure you check it out on Spotify. YouTube, also subscribe to, if you guys are listening to it on Apple Podcast, you can subscribe it and follow it. Do the same thing on Spotify, Google Podcasts for the people out there. If you have Android, you can't listen to it on Apple, or you can, but you can. I think you can listen on iTunes or Apple Podcast, but you can't leave it a rating, which is unfortunate. But either way, it's not about just talking about ratings the whole time. Even though I am very happy about it. But yeah, guys, May. This crazy month of May. Shit is really starting to open up. I'm repping my gym today. I'm hoping for the best. You know, it would be awesome if we could get the ball rolling again. We shall see how I think gyms across America are starting to open up again. So we shall see. We shall see what happens with that. But super pumped to see what this month has in store for us. I think this is a important month for the country. I think June's going to be an important month. We just have 3 days left in May. This is definitely a pivotal time for this whole coronavirus pandemic that we're dealing with, which I know for some people out there, this has been a vacation. I would say for me, it's kind of been a vacation. I'm very fortunate with the situation I live in. I'm very fortunate with the circumstances I have. I don't have anybody to really look out for besides myself, besides my family, which they can all look out for themselves. I don't really have too much to stress about, to worry about. So it's kind of just been a long vacation for me. And I don't want to, that comes off very cockish, but it's not supposed to. That's just the truth, and that's what it's kind of been. But I know for a lot of people, it's not that. For a lot of people, it's been a fucking struggle, and it's going to continue to be a struggle. This is going to decimate the economy for years and decades to come. There's going to be a gray lining in all this. There's going to be great things that come out of this. There's going to be a lot of issues also. I think the most important thing, which I think is, I don't know, I haven't heard too much people, I haven't heard that many people talk about it. By the way, I am so insecure with my voice. I hate the way my voice sounds. I also hate the way clothing fits me. It doesn't matter if I'm in good shape or I'm fat as a fat person. It doesn't matter. I always feel insecure in my outfits, so I'm always pulling my shirts. Like if my girlfriend lays on me or like my dog lays on me, I always have to push them away and pull my shirt up. I hate having clothes restricting my body, especially my upper body. I don't like it when my love handles get squeezed. I also hate when I won't wear socks. There's a few tactile things I struggle with. I hate wearing socks if I not wearing shoes. So what I mean by that is, like, some people, they will wear no sock, or they will wear socks throughout the house even though they're not going to put a shoe on. For me, I go the other way. I will take my socks off and run around barefoot everywhere in the yard, on the concrete, on the gravel. Unless I am going to wear shoes, then I will wear socks. I'm also crazy in the sense that I very rarely wear flip-flops without socks, and it sounds insane, but I don't. There's just something about having bare feet inside of shoes without having socks on. I don't know what it is. I think the not wearing socks, if I don't have to wear shoes, is because I like the cold ground. I feel like it's like soothing my feet. I like feeling one with the earth in a very hippie-ish way. And I also don't like it. So that's a feet thing. And I also don't like when things squeeze my love handles. I hate that. I hate that so much. I feel like I'm in a different trance right now. I'm sitting here talking to a camera. It's so weird. 91 episodes into it, and I still can't get over this crazy concept of recording. Dude, if you think about it, in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, you needed a studio, you needed a production team, you needed a director, you needed a publicist, publicist. Jesus Christ. It's like Mushmouth of Fat Albert. That's kind of how I've been lately. It's probably because I ate a lot of food yesterday too. And I drank a lot of coffee. But yeah, it's just insane to think that you used to need all this crazy equipment. You needed all these extra people, all these extra hands on set. You needed a script to have a show, to talk about anything. It's so insane to me that for almost a whole year now, I have been able to grow a podcast where I talk about just whatever's on my mind, which apparently a lot of people like. I get feedback all the time. They love the topics I talk about. And a lot of things that I get is people like my views on subject matter and my acceptance of other views on the same subject matter, but a different view of the subject matter. And my different takes on things. It's something that I find very important to do, to be very fair to other people's opinions on anything, and to never close out someone else's viewpoint. And I talk about this pretty often, and I'll repeat it again because I think it's important. I think it's very important for people to understand and for people to hear. When you run into somebody, you run into a stranger, or you overhear somebody speaking about a subject matter that maybe you have a specific opinion on, and maybe for some reason, you don't know why, maybe you do know why, but it's hard to understand. You think your opinion on that specific subject matter should be higher up in the hierarchy. It should be more important than someone else's opinion on the subject matter. So for Trump, for example, or for coronavirus, for example, wearing a mask or not to wear a mask. One thing that I don't know where I got this from. I don't know where I heard this from. It could have been Jordan Peterson. I don't know. It could have been a whole lot of different combinations. A lot of it probably goes to my dad and the way I was raised. When people take a side, when people take a view, when people choose to believe in something. So the act of believing in something is not just believing in something. It's valuing that subject matter, that you're valuing that viewpoint more than the other viewpoints. And you think that viewpoint is more important than all the other ones. And it becomes dangerous when, instead of doing that, you run into somebody that is thinking that their viewpoint is the only viewpoint, and the other opinions don't matter. They don't exist. That's when you run into issues, arrogance, ignorance, dangerous things. But just as much as having a belief in something is recognizing something and you hold that close to your heart, it is also denying the other viewpoints as important as yours. And that's what a belief system is. I mean, that's what a belief. If you believe in gun rights, you believe that, let's just say I'm a far left, a liberal, a left wing. I don't know, a big left. I don't know what it is. A far left wing, super left wing. If you add one more left, then you're right wing. If you take 3 lefts, then you're on the right. And you believe that nobody should have guns. Guns should be illegal. Okay. Now, for whatever reason that you believe it is, the collection of opinions or factual evidence in your mind that makes you come to that decision that all guns should be illegal and no human should be allowed to have a gun. When you formulate that belief system, you just put it at the top of your pyramid. Okay? But at the same time, in order for you to have a strong belief on that, you're also denying that, or you're holding other viewpoints at a less higher value level or in the hierarchy, that some people should have guns, or everybody should have guns, or some people should have guns but not felons. They shouldn't have guns. All those are the viewpoints you're finding not important. They're not as strong as your viewpoint, where it is your opinion where nobody should have guns. So back to what I was saying from the beginning. When you take a stance and you take an opinion like that, whatever that opinion is, fill in the blank with whatever you want it to be for this example. Your path to having that idea was guided not 100% by you. I would say very little by you. Your childhood, the way you were brought up, the people that were around you as you were coming up, the television shows that were on TV between the age of 4 and 6 years old, when you were really trying to understand your place in the dominant hierarchy, or when you were 12 to 15 years old, 12 to 16 years old, and if you got bullied and you weren't allowed to be part of the group, because if a group kicks you out, or if a group never allows you to come into their group, doesn't matter what it is, that has a long-term effect on someone's mental health, someone's mental, or someone's view about themselves. It's probably the worst thing you can do for self-esteem. So whatever the situation is, whatever the events are that lead to you saying, I believe no one should have guns, you got to understand that moment when you were 13 years old and you were in 8th grade and you wanted to hang out with the basketball team, but the basketball team said, no, you can't hang out with us. The other option could have happened. You could have went to the basketball party and hung out with the basketball guys and developed friendships, and you maybe would have became more comfortable with people. You would have trusted people better. You would have had a better opportunity to understand other people's opinions on things. And maybe for some reason that would have altered your mind state where you believe, yes, people should have guns unless you're a felon. And my point is that when someone comes with an opinion on anything, it's a collection of choices at specific events that led to that formulated thought. So I think the reason why I'm so good, and I think I'm well equipped to listen to anybody's viewpoint on anything, is because I understand that it's just choices that they experienced that led them to this idea. And I also give the benefit, excuse me. I also give them the benefit of the doubt that they're not trying to harm other people with their opinion. And I think a lot of the time what it is they are so focused, like a horse running a race. They're so, I don't like to use the words closed-minded, Because I think when you're closed-minded, you're aware. Like, to be closed-minded, you have to have an awareness of being closed-minded, of saying, oh, yes, I'm closed-minded. By you doing that, you're aware of your closed-mindedness. I think it's just a lack of knowledge to even understand, almost ignorance, understand other people's viewpoints. But there's been a lot of times where I think people are ignorant, and then you present it with another perspective on a subject matter, and they are all accepting. So it wasn't ignorance, it was lack of knowledge. It was lack of experience. It was lack of running into that situation before. And I think that is so damn important for people to realize, especially when all this craziness is going on in the world, especially when you are in this 2016 to 2020, when you have a polarizing figure as the president of the United States of America, Donald Trump. That is what I think has completely gone out the window, is people are not even taking a step anymore to make an attempt to view other people's opinions as possibly valid. There's a lot of gunslinging, no pun intended. People are just reacting from the way someone looks to throwing ideologies on people because of the way they look, because of the way they talk. And this is at the fundamental root what systematic racism is. It's when you get stereotypes that a group of ignorant people are carelessly accepting without investigating and trying to figure out the validity of them. Are they valid? Should they even be valid? How stupid are they? You get a willy-nilly acceptance of things, and that's when it becomes dangerous. It becomes dangerous when people stop challenging the status quo, because that always needs to be challenged. And people have to, you gotta check yourself. I love saying, I never want to be in a situation where I can proudly say that I know something, because I don't want that. I don't want that for me. I don't want to say I know something, because I think when you make an attempt and you try to do that, what you're also doing is you're saying that I know it, therefore I don't need to listen to other sides of the story anymore. So then what happens after that is you dig your heels into the dirt and you drive that home about what you know. And then years go by, and then what you know is not even factually evident, because that's all the person was falling back on, is because it was factually evident. It was factually the truth. But then one day it's not factually the truth anymore, and then you run into a situation where now, since it's not factually true, and now since you know you're wrong, but you never developed the ability to attempt to view other people's views, listen to other stories, instead of accepting that you're wrong and accepting other viewpoints, now you're just out there shooting down everybody's opinion. Because now you have a fear and an insecurity that you cannot be wrong. Don't know where I went off track with that, but I think that's an important thing to do. And I think that's something that I have spent a lot of my life subconsciously attempting to do. I remember always being a child, and always being told by different figures of my life, different people who came across me at any times in my life, saying you got to die for something. You got to believe in something. You got to not burden yourself, but that's not right. You have to believe in something. And I get it. I do. I believe in a lot of things. I believe that nothing is a simple solution. I believe that nothing is a simple solution. And I've always believed in that. I believe in pro-choice. I believe in pro-life. I believe in capital punishment. I believe in not capital punishment. I believe in strict immigration laws. I believe in immigration. I believe in police, but I do not believe in police brutality. I believe in a president, but not a racist president. I believe in right until it's wrong. I don't choose one or the other. No, I don't. I refuse to do that. I choose to be flexible and to keep like a meerkat out in the desert, wherever the hell they live. I don't know. Popping my head up when I see something that's interesting to me. Dude, I never thought about that. No, I never knew that. I didn't know you lived like that. I didn't know that was a thing. So then I transfer my opinion again. I think that's the beauty, and that's so important, that the fluidity to have the ability to change your mind. And I've always battled with this because that's what I've always believed in. I always thought that's what you should do. I think if you should change it, I think you should change your opinion. I think you should. I absolutely think you should change your opinion. I do. But for some reason, I don't know if it's just my life. It could be the American way, or it could just be the way of people. I've run across a lot of people who hate the idea of admitting that the previous person they were could have possibly had the wrong idea on a subject. And I've run across a lot of people who they would rather have their head full of teeth punched out of their face before they say, I agree with Donald Trump on that one. I agree with what he did on that one. Disagree with that one, but I agree with that one. Shit, I hate the guy, but fuck, he did drive down unemployment. Damn it. Man, I hate him, but God, he did put a travel restriction on China very early into the coronavirus when nobody else wanted to. It's like the ability for me to say that, for me to even conceive of that and to say it to the public, where I'm putting myself out there for hundreds of people, but I'm also accepting that it could be millions of people. By the way, when I do a podcast, if I get 1 million views on something, I'm prepared for whatever, as much as I possibly could be, whatever comes my way, because I'm also equipped with the ability to change my opinion on something, or to sit down and have a conversation with somebody who has a different viewpoint on that subject. But you're no longer allowed to do that. You can't do that. You can't do that for a number of reasons. A few of the reasons is because if you do that, you don't have a voice anymore. It seems like the more, what's the word I'm looking for? The more electrifying, or more, the more that you can pack a punch with what you say, the more your voice travels, and the more it makes an impact. That's disgusting right there. That's wrong. It shouldn't be that way. Because people would probably look at me as, oh, that's good that he can accept other viewpoints, but man, he doesn't stand for nothing. If you don't stand for nothing, you die for nothing. It's like, no, I stand for a lot. I stand for listening to people and working on my understanding of beliefs, and understanding that if somebody has a belief, there's exceptions. Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin. But even people who are bona fide racist, I even try to understand where they're coming from. As much as I disagree with it, as much as I hate it, as much as I find that belief system is the cockroach belief system of the world, damn it, I will try to at least see the journey that they took to get to that point. I will do that. I forget who was on Joe Rogan's podcast, but there was a gentleman on Joe Rogan's podcast. Damn it. Fuck, I forget who it was, but he was an African-American guy, gentleman, and it actually took place out in Fredericksburg, Maryland, which is where I live. And out west in Maryland, there's a lot of racism. There's a lot of extreme racism in Baltimore is a city built off of systematic racism. The way that the neighborhoods are set up, the way that the police system in Baltimore is one of the most corrupt in the whole country. And I don't know how they are now, but the mayor just got kicked out of office for like taking a kickback from a book sales illegally. It's just a corrupt city. It's a corrupt city. And it's right outside of DC. And we all know DC is fucking corrupt. Taylor. Hello.
I just wanted my bathing suit.
Okay. And so we all know that DC is corrupt, and we all know that Baltimore is built off of a white man's idea of what the city should be. So that alternatively means it's going to be built off of a systematic, ignorant racism view of a city. And then out west in Maryland, you have a lot of, once again, you have a lot of just, you have a lot of KKK. Let's just cut to the chase. You have a lot of the KKK out there. And this gentleman who was on Joe Rogan's podcast was talking about, he was an African-American man. He's out there and he runs into these guys at a bar, and they don't know that he doesn't figure out that they're KKK until a little bit later. And then he eventually, what he does is he sits down with these people and he asks them why. Why do you believe that my people are the scum of the earth and should be removed from this planet? And he realized that none of the answers he was getting made sense. They didn't really know why they believed in what they believed. They were kind of just like a dog, you know? They were bred a certain way. A pit bull doesn't know why his jaws are as strong, or a pit bull doesn't know why when they play fight they can rip someone's hand off. They don't know why. That's what it is. That's what they were bred to do. And until the pit bull, or until the person, the KKK member, is aware of what they're doing, I don't think they will. He realized that they will never change. So what he did is he showed them the pain that he was causing people, and hey man, you just don't have to do it. Like what you learned was broken, and what he did was he had hundreds of KKK members remove their cloaks. Which sounds so hilarious. A cloak. That's like some primitive weird shit. And they're no longer KKK members. And for someone that powerful who was able to remove all the hatred that he had towards these white KKK members, which he should have. He should hate them. But he still managed to try to listen to them. That shit's powerful. And I try to do that in my everyday life on a much lower level, but I try to do that. I try to listen to people all the time with what their views are, because I don't know if mine's even the right one. I don't know if it's the right one. I don't even know if I fully conceptualize what I believe. I think that's an important thing to have, and I think if you can develop it, it's going to make you a much happier person because you will be hated by less, and you will be accepted by much more people, and you won't develop hatred and grudges on people's. I know so many people that hold grudges on other people, and that person doesn't even know that they have a grudge on them. And the reason why they hold a grudge is because they disagree with like their political viewpoint. So it's embarrassing. It really is. It's embarrassing that happens, but that's the truth. Yeah, I don't really know what I was talking about. I guess that's a big part of this podcast episode. But yeah, that's what I try to do. That's how I try to function. I try to listen. I want to hear all sides of the stories. Now I struggle sometimes just shutting up and listening because I want to tell them I agree. No, I agree. I never thought I get so excited to realize that I didn't know something. I do, like, I get so excited. Like if I read something in a book that I never knew before, I'll be like, yo, Taylor, listen to this quote. And she's like, what? Because, by the way, if you're reading a book, you're reading it because you're interested in it. Unless someone else is reading that exact same book, even then it's hard. No one else is going to be as interested in it. So don't, like, I'm like, oh, she doesn't care. Oh, of course not. You fucking idiot. Why would she? She's not reading it. She's over there drawing a picture of a pineapple or something. Like, chill, bro. But yeah, dude, June's going to be a pivotal month, dude. It's going to be an interesting month. I hope for the best. I hope. But the scariest part about it, the thing that I don't want to happen the most, is that somehow we can just kind of egg out these next 3 months, June, July, and August. September come around, it starts getting a little bit colder, and then boom, it's flu season. Because Corona is going to come back, right? It's going to come back, just like the flu is going to come back, just like your cold is going to come back. And I hope that by that time, people are less stupid and they actually stop believing all the bullshit media that's out there trying to feed a fucking narrative. Because that's probably just got my YouTube video demonetized. But that's what it is. I mean, there's so much fear mongering. It's absurd, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy. But this is definitely, like, I think like Pennsylvania is like the swing vote. And also, we're going to have a new president soon. We're going to have either Donald Trump, Adderall Man, or we're going to have Joe Biden, who believes that if you don't vote for him, you're not black. Fucking the most arrogant statement. There's a dude running for the United States of America, apparently the greatest country in the world, the greatest country this world has ever seen, which, by the way, that's a fucking ridiculous statement to make. And we have Joe Biden, a 78-year-old man who has disgusting allegations against him. Who knows if they're true? But we have a 78-year-old man. We have a few 70-year-olds. We have one 70-year-old who's popping Adderall, hooking up with strippers, tweeting that he's gonna drop a bomb on Pakistan or whatever, or he's gonna Iran, making fun of Rosie O'Donnell. You have that crazy dude popping Adderalls, getting drunk, hooking up with strippers. And then you have this guy, Joe Biden, who has allegations for like rubbing kids' feet, sexual assault allegations against him. And apparently now he's telling an entire culture, an entire race. And he said black, which that just comes off weird. Like I don't know, like even like white, like it's just white and black. It just using colors to describe a human being is fucking disgusting in itself, right? Like that's, if you think about that, like brown, black, white, like what the, that's fucking weird. Because like what you're saying is that there's no in between. Like you can't be like off white. You can't be like a different shade of brown. You can't be, it's just like there's a solid colors. It's I don't know. It just sounds weird. But you have the Donald Trump guy. Then you have the sleepy Joe Biden over here saying if you don't vote for me and you vote for Donald Trump, then you're not black. Like, because what you're saying is you're not talking about a race. You're giving a set of personality traits and attributes to a black person. You're stereotyping what a black person is, an African American, by using his terms, and you're saying that they're all like that. Plenty of African Americans voted for Donald Trump. I mean, no shit. You can go on Facebook right now, and there's like African American groups for Donald Trump. Also, there's a lot of females who voted for Donald Trump, even though apparently, if you're a girl and you vote for Donald Trump, then you're not a girl. It's just like, oh man, it's a weird time to be alive. It's a great time to be alive if you have a podcast, though. There's like unlimited content all day, every day. But you're just living in a weird fucking moment. And so by next Christmas, that's what I'm living for. I'm living for making it to next Christmas. I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know if we're going to be at war with China. I don't know if we're all going to be dead because of coronavirus or whatever the next pandemic is. I don't know if we're going to have a president. Donald Trump could OD any day. Joe Biden could die any day. I guess Barack Obama would follow him up, but he's getting investigated. Maybe Hillary, but she could be in jail. June's going to be an interesting month for a lot of people. It's going to be a good one, man. I had two things I wanted to talk about. I'll talk about one. I'm not going to talk. I just started The Last Dance because I didn't want to have to wait every week to watch 2 episodes. I just want to binge it. I'll talk about that maybe the next episode. But Elon Musk, dude, SpaceX is going to fucking space today, Wednesday, the 27th. Right? Yeah, the 27th at 4:30 p.m. He's flying a couple human beings out to space, and they're going to go meet up, I think, with the International Space Station. He's going to throw some people up there, and that's awesome. First time NASA has worked with a private company to send people to space. It's fucking legit. It's cool as hell. I like what he's doing. He's getting very much into. He's letting people know his view on the coronavirus, which I think you should do. I don't like, and this is something to wrap in with The Last Dance. I don't like it since you're a public figure, and I guess when you become a public figure, I don't know because I'm not a public figure, but I feel like if I became a public figure, I wouldn't really change the way I speak out on things. Maybe I would, to tone it down a little bit, but I don't like the idea that just because you become a certain level of fame, you have to adjust the way you speak about things. I don't really agree with that. As long as you're not intentionally trying to say things to get a rise out of people, I don't know if you should have to mold the way you say things around a narrative. But he's been very outspoken on the coronavirus. He threatened to sue the state of California. He's threatened to move his factory to China, but go him, dude. I mean, it's so fucked. I talk about it all the time, but I get so upset how so many Americans despise Elon Musk. People hate Elon Musk, and I think, and it's always because he's a greedy capitalist. It's like, greedy capitalist is such a weird thing to say. It's like, if you're a capitalist, yes, you're greedy. You're trying to make money. And you're trying to make, what are you supposed to do? If you make if you're Jeff Bezos and you're the CEO of Amazon and you make I don't know, you become the biggest company in the world. Well, we all know companies don't flatten. They don't flatten. A company doesn't just maintain, because maintaining is going backwards, because you're eventually going to go backwards. You can only go up. If you're a company, you can only go up. And that's the only position you want to go. That's the only direction you want to go. But it seems like, for some reason, people I know, people around me, people that are on social media, which is everybody besides Michael Jordan. Sorry. Matthew McConaughey's on there. He should not be on. That guy is crazy. He's such an actor. A good one, an amazing one. Dallas Buyers Club was an amazing movie. But it seems like once you become too good at your job, doesn't matter what it is, if you're Michael Jordan or if you're Jeff Bezos, who's going to be a trillionaire, while the country's by like 2030 is going to be a trillionaire, probably earlier than that. Who the fuck knows? I mean, it's like $2,400 a second. If you're Jeff Bezos and you're too successful, people hate you. Even if you are hiring 300,000 people and people say, well, the work conditions suck. Well, the work conditions also suck at McDonald's. Don't work at McDonald's. Fuck it. Sorry. Just don't do it then. You just can't be too successful, because if you're too successful, it shows everybody's flaws. I don't know. I think it's awesome. I farted right there. I think it's awesome, but I talk too much. Hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Elon Musk, good luck in Mars, guys. Accept other people's viewpoints. Jim, I hope it opens up soon. The world's gonna be getting back to normal soon. I'm gonna graduate in a year and a half. Boom. I'm gonna do a job that I'm gonna tell you guys about later, sometime down in the future. Guys, episode 91. I'll catch you guys on Tuesday with episode 92 of the Michael Lab Show. Peace out. Thank you so much for listening. Rate, comment, like, subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker. Love you guys. Thank you. See ya.